Endless online searches, trekking from dealer to dealer. But here it is, the Volvo XC90. A luxury SUV that emphasises convenience and comfort. A panoramic roof, advanced air purifier, a head-up display that changes to suit light conditions, an air suspension system that ensures a smooth ride by constantly adjusting the ride height and shock absorbers. Now at special run-out pricing from $99,990 plus on-roads. Visit Volvo Cars and discover why the Volvo XC90 is the vehicle for right now.
You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Across the Tasman, our regular Australian correspondent Adam Peacock is with us. Adam, I know it's been done and dusted, but with the benefit of a few days hindsight after the Australian Tennis Open that you were deeply involved in the coverage of, how do you regard the 2025 edition?
Awesome, Piney. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It didn't have, thinking about it, it didn't have the incredible, amazing viral moments, if you like, throughout, and, you know, in part towards the fact that Nick Kyrgios lost in the first round, he didn't play the doubles, and, yeah, various other reasons. But the crescendo on the weekend for two different reasons. The women's final was just an epic contest, and Madison Keys, really a heartwarming story that she got it done. And then the performance of Jannik Sinner goes down as one of the great Grand Slam final performances of all time, to not even face a break point against the second best player in the world. It's insane tennis. So for varying reasons, the final weekend was bloody enjoyable in terms of watching high-level sport. Great
stuff. Loved your coverage of that. Let's move to the other big summer sport in both of our countries, cricket. Both of your men's and women's teams are in action at the moment and both absolutely dominating their opposition. Yeah. Let's start in Gaul. Australia 654 for 6 declared. Sri Lanka 136 for 5. Goodness me.
Yeah, a bit of a gap between the two sides. Unfortunately, though, the weather looks to have kind of helped the Sri Lankans yesterday, and who knows what the weather's going to serve up in the next 2 days. So Australia basically have 2 days to take 15 wickets. I can't imagine that we bat again unless something extraordinary happens. But, yeah, it's a tough ask. They're well rested, I guess, though, the bowlers, after missing out for most of day 3. But, yeah, total domination. Didn't expect this. The way that we batted was so impressive. And that wicket probably didn't suit the Sri Lankans as well as it might have. And I dare say, I think they're going to play on the same deck in the second test. So who knows what they're going to serve up in that one. Could be one of those lotteries that we've seen in Pakistan in the last couple of years, where they put all kinds of things on the pitch to dry it out and make it turn from ball one on day one. So, but at the moment, Australia in a commanding position and batted so well. Usman Khawaja was the best of them with 200 plus.
His opening partner, Travis Head. Sam Constas, of course, turned plenty of heads at the back end of the series against India. A surprise to you he wasn't selected to open here?
Little bit. Like, if we're looking at it and saying that, okay, we want Sam Constas to be part of the test set up for the next 15 years and essentially a dead rubber test because it doesn't mean anything for making World Test Championships, why don't we give him a go? But then you point it back to Australia just wanting to win every test and picking the best possible team available at that moment. And you can't argue with Josh Inglis, the man to come in. They pushed Travis Head up to the top of the order and they put Josh Inglis in at 5. Really, it gives him an opportunity to impress on turning decks, and he did that with a runnable century. So the selectors over here, they have over the journey, and be same over there, they pick someone who's against the grain or it's not with public opinion, and that kind of everyone blows up. But the selectors in the last few years, they've made right choice after right choice, and they've got it right again here.
And closer to home, the Women's Ashes is happening in Australia. This has been utterly lopsided. There were 3 one-day internationals, all won by Australia, 3 T20 internationals, all won by Australia, and in the sole test, a day-nighter in Melbourne, England all out 170, Australia 422 for 5.
Yeah, these are the type of tours that at the end of it, one team celebrates and the other one goes home and has an independent review. Not so much just a heart-to-heart chat in the dressing room after, like we're talking at board level, what the hell is going on? And I think that's going to happen with England out of the back of this one. This has been a complete disaster from their perspective, and it shouldn't happen because they've got a really strong domestic setup on paper, and they've got a competition which is like attracting players from all around the world called the 100 that they have every year. So their cricket should be better, and it just hasn't been. In Australia, who are just prodded into action after missing out at the last World Cup, they've come back and just absolutely given it to the English. So it's good from an Australian perspective, but yeah, England have a lot to consider when they get home after this tour.
Have people been checking this out? Have they been turning up to watch or watching on TV?
Yeah, good ratings on TV. And look, they've held this one at the MCG. They've taken a bit of a throw at the stumps. And like when it was raining yesterday, it got all the cricketing viewers on the eyes of the Ashes. And I think a lot of people realise that why they're having this at the end. They have the test at the end of the multi-format series. It kind of feels like a bit of a dead rubber. Now, conversely, if you end up with all the play for and it's 8-6 in terms of points going into the last test, which is worth 4 points, it's the complete opposite. But I kind of agree with the summation that maybe the test match should be at the front if we're going to prioritise that. But whatever the case, yeah, it is getting really good viewership on television and pretty handy crowds throughout, although it does look a bit empty there having a game like this at the MCG. There's still some healthy crowds coming through the gate, which is good to see. Yeah,
good to hear. I believe today might have been your first day off all year, so thank you for taking at least 10 minutes out of it to chat to us, mate. I'm sorry to disturb you. We'll get you back on next Saturday if that suits.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good.
Cheers, man. That's Adam Peacock, our Australian correspondent, even on his day off, joining us here on News Talk ZB with all of the big sports stories from across the Tasman.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.